video up on. I do these checks on my phone. Yeah, I've got volume on for a minute. Hang on. There you go. 1 2 1 2.
I'm still hungry. I need something to eat.
Okay, we're up. Wicked. Hello everyone. This is a bonus stream. You're getting a bonus stream from me because I literally said last night that I would stream the next 2 following weekends before I do Death of a Salesman in the penultimate weekend of November. That has now changed. So you're getting an extra one from me tonight because I will not be streaming Saturday the 15th. We are all going to Wetherspoons as both casts. First time I've been to Wetherspoons in a long time. Didn't think I wanted to go there again after my last time there, but I thought, do you know what, you only live once, and I'm in a much better place, a much better group, so we're going to Wetherspoons as like the final sort of hurrah before we both do our plays, because obviously Death of a Salesman is not the only play that is running at my university. My group is made up of so my cast is made up of 2 productions, both collaborating with the level 5 students. Obviously we're level 6, so we're kind of at the forefront of these productions, but the level 5s have been working in production roles, and to be fair, I can't lie, I think they're awesome. I've had such a good time working with the level 5s. They're a great group, and I'm actually really excited to watch their headlining production later on this year. In fact, that'll probably be one of the last productions I watch here, which is quite sad to think about. But we are going out as a group, quite a big group as well. So that has basically changed. So the streaming plans have changed. I don't want this to be a long stream tonight, just because I really do need to work a bit more on my lines. I did a sort of a run through with my I call her my sort of leading scene partner, because she's the one that I bear the most scenes with. Lady playing my wife in the play, playing Linda Lohman. She's absolutely brilliant. The whole cast is just amazing. Honestly, I've had such a good time working with this cast. Probably the most fun I've ever had working on a show. It's been amazing. It really has been. And I'm actually really sad knowing that by the end of the month it's going to be over, especially for my last one. But at the same time, we've got to live in the moment, and we're just going to make the most of it. So this is going to be a shorter stream tonight, because I really do need to crack on with just getting my lines down, because I know the part. I know the part. Like, I've done, like, we've worked near enough every scene that I'm in. But at the same time, it's like the lines there. You can know the part and still forget your lines. I struggle with when it's like shorter lines, when it's a scene that is quite short, and it's like, you know, it's just not that there's not much to it. It's quite difficult, really. But at the same time, I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm gonna get this part down to a T. I'm lucky to be playing not only the leading role for my final production, but also for the first time ever. So I really am determined to make it the best possible work I can. So yeah, it's very exciting. Obviously these streams are kind of like my downtime in between. I don't do weekday streams. I'm going to be focusing a lot on that, on rehearsal consolidation, line learning, and all that kind of typical actor stuff. Also this month, I am starting my professional placement. So I can't promise that the streams are going to be like as frequent as they have been. Since I started streaming again, I've tried to make it as consistent as possible, just with doing, just doing like the odd stream or so every week. I don't intend to make it a daily thing, to be honest with you. And they will start to slow down again come Christmas time, because I will have my next module assessments to be planning and preparing for. So they will slow down a bit. At the same time, I'm just enjoying doing these streams again. I know last night I did talk a little bit about the upcoming January 1st Lego sets. Some of them I'm honestly not that fussed about. I think the three that I am interested in are the Spider-Man 3 diorama, the Age of Ultron diorama, or the Epic Battles moment as they're now being referred to as, but they're basically dioramas if you just look at the sets. And the Ghost Rider and Spider-Man set. I'll probably get that one at some point. I'm not going to get them all straight away. I think that's a mistake I made with the Marvel logo. I love that set, but I bought it at, on day one, New Year's Day this year. So I did pay the full £90 for it. Whereas now you can get it for like 60 odd quid. And that's exactly the price I paid for the Avengers Endgame diorama. So it's like, because I don't do Lego as like a content thing, I'm not in the sort of obligation to buy the sets as soon as they come out, so I can afford to wait a bit. Obviously, if it's sets that massively in high demand and they end up going on back order, not really a problem, because I don't, there's times where I can't buy a set due to maybe financial circumstances, and in that case I shouldn't even be thinking about buying Lego. But at the same time, I just think that it's one of those things where just buy it as and when you want it, and then or when you can. Don't be putting yourself in debt for Lego, especially when you've got bills to pay, shopping to do, making sure that you're well fed, well clothed, all that kind of thing. It's very adult based, but unfortunately that is the way the world works. You've got to be thinking about those things first and foremost. I had a great experience playing with Lego as a child, but I'm not a kid anymore, so it's one of those. But yeah, I absolutely love some of this. I can't lie, I was actually I was pleasantly surprised by the collector's edition Mark III Iron Man statue, or like figurine. I call it a statuesque type thing because I watched the interview. I watched the presentation of it being revealed, or at least a video of it, and the legs can't actually move, so it feels more like a statue than it does a figure. But at the same time, it looks really cool. I'm not going to be buying it, but at the same time, I can appreciate the designer going to the efforts that he has done to make it look good. It looks a lot better than the bust, the Mark IV bust that came out this year. That set, in my opinion, doesn't look that great. It'd be one of those sets I'd only buy it for the Mark IV minifig, and I don't really want to be spending spending money on Lego just for minifigs. I want good builds, or at least good building potential. Because with the Endgame set, I realised, hang on a minute, I can do whatever I want with this. And that's the thing with Lego, you can do what you want with any set, but there's certain sets that I just can't see that creative freedom as much as I can in other sets. And the Endgame set for me was the ones like, oh, hang on, I know I can do something with this, much like I have done with the No Way Home diorama, which admittedly is a better set right out of the box. Right out of the box, the build experience for the No Way Home one was arguably a hell of a lot better. But with the Endgame set, I just felt like, as I was building it, I thought, I'm actually putting this scene to life, and it is my favourite scene in the MCU. And since I never actually owned an Endgame set before, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get it. Had I bought the 2021 Endgame Avengers Compound set, then I might have skipped on it. But at the same time, I'd never had a Mark 85 Iron Man. It is my favourite Iron Man suit, and obviously this one came with a new version of that suit, a new print. I was like, okay, that looks a hell of a lot better than the old one. Not that the old one was bad, it just felt very bland in some areas. Like, I like the more vibrant red. It kind of pops out on Iron Man figures more these days because you get a nice contrast with the dark red torso mold, but also a bright red print. It's just a nice little standout. I really like them. And obviously the battle pack that came with it, or battle pack you could buy, included Rocket, Thor and Rhodey. Rocket being my favourite member of the Guardians, and at that point our honorary Avenger. The Iron Patriot Mark II, I think, is War Machine's best suit. And obviously Thor, one of my favourite characters in the entire franchise. I absolutely love Thor. In fact, I think he was probably my favourite character in Infinity War. I thought he absolutely stole the scene. I thought he was that good in Infinity War they had to knock him back a bit for Endgame, which I suppose it kind of leveled out the playing field a bit. If Infinity War was going up against Endgame Thanos, it would have been a much easier fight for Thor, I think, because Infinity War Thor, where he's full of rage and hatred, and particularly a sort of lust for vengeance after Heimdall and Loki dying, and half of Asgard being destroyed with it. I just think that it kind of made perfect sense for Thor to be as powerful, and also just acquiring Stormbreaker, like a weapon that actually amplifies his power, or amplifies his powers, not just control it. Because by that point, he didn't really need it. He didn't really need Mjolnir or Stormbreaker, but Stormbreaker just gave him a bit of an edge. Which is why I kind of didn't like how they tried to really play off Stormbreaker and Mjolnir as people in Love and Thunder. I just thought that was really weird and quite creepy. It's almost like Thor was shagging his weapons, and it just made no sense. I know Korg made a joke about Mjolnir and Ragnarok, quite funny to be honest, but that was just a joke. I feel like Love and Thunder just kind of played on it a bit too much to the point where it wasn't funny anymore. But yeah, with those sets, I'm definitely going to be picking up at least two of them. I can't justify buying, the what's it called, the Age of Ultron diorama just yet, just because it is the Spider-Man 3 one I want the most, and for a student, I think this Spider-Man 3 one is the most budget friendly, like £20, like £20 just for a really good diorama. That's probably the best pricing Lego has done, in my opinion, for a very long time. In fact, I would say that's the only set that's actually worth its value for money that I have bought in the last, I want to say the last 4 years. The only set I can think of that was actually that, had that kind of value for money was one of the first Infinity Saga sets. It was, ironically, it was a 4+ set, but I really wanted having a modernized Captain America that I could upgrade with Captain Carter parts. I ended up doing it for both of them that came out in that wave, but the Age of Ultron Captain America from that little bike set with the Hydra Soldier, yeah, I did actually, I bought it and I upgraded the Captain America, but that was the only other set that I thought was actually worth the value for money that it was, and I think it was only like, I think it was only like a tenner, to be honest. I spent more on a Star Wars set that I bought at the same time from the Lego store. One of the only purchases I've actually made from the Lego store, to be honest with you. I think the only other one I can think of in recent memory is probably the Marvel logo. But yeah, I had quite a lot of fun building like some more recent sets from Marvel this year. It's not been a great year for Marvel. I'd honestly say that last year had a better, at least consistency of sets. Some of the ones this year have been pretty good. I'd say the summer wave was a lot stronger than the January wave. I'm hoping that the summer wave this year will mostly consist of movie dioramas and brand new day sets. To be honest with you, though, I would much rather have less summer sets this year for a crap ton of Avengers Doomsday sets at the end of the year. Because I know Lego has been skimping out recently on making movie sets. I know Thunderbolt's got none. Captain America Brave New World got one actual set, one Brickhead, like 2-pack, and a one of those like construction figure type things. I actually have one that I quite like. I got it as a birthday gift, but I haven't actually got around to building it yet. Which I do plan to rectify. Because it is a cool set. It's a Wolverine one, so. But yeah, Captain America got Deadpool and Wolverine got none. The Marvels got one, and it weren't that great. So I'm really hoping that this year they lock in for Doomsday sets, because it's an Avengers movie. You know, you can't skimp out on an Avengers movie with sets. You know, especially when you've made a crap ton of Endgame sets and you've now gone back and doing Age of Ultron. I will add on to that though. I've not seen a lot of love for the for Infinity War. I think the last like Infinity War, like the proper Infinity War set, was the Hulkbuster that came out in 2023. And to be honest, I'm not that bothered the fact they're doing another Hulkbuster, because that one, the one I just mentioned, was for Infinity War. This new one that's coming out 3 years later is for Age of Ultron, which probably had a better use of that suit than Infinity War did, because you know, the Hulkbuster in Age of Ultron actually fought the Hulk, whereas with Infinity War, Bruce Banner was riding the Hulkbuster because the Hulk wouldn't, you know, work. The Hulk wouldn't come back after Thanos kicked the crap out of him. So as much as I think the Infinity War one does look better, I think the Age of Ultron one is probably more iconic just for that reason. So I don't really mind it as such. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world for me, the fact that the Hulkbuster, they're using a different Hulk, well, they're doing a different Hulkbuster, even though it probably does make sense to go back and do the Age of Ultron one, because they literally just made the Infinity War Hulkbuster 3 years ago. So it's not really that that bad, to be fair. It's not that bad, and the diorama itself looks fantastic. You know, I've always loved that scene in Age of Ultron. In fact, I'd probably say it's one of my favourite scenes, other than the final battle. Which that is a diorama I hope does get made. I hope that in the summer we get an Age of Ultron diorama with Mark 45 Iron Man. Just I've seen they're now doing, or for at least the Mark 3 and the 43, they've got arm prints. And the Mark 45 is probably my third favourite suit after the 85 and the 50. So to get a new Mark 45, especially with the new helmet mold, the new print style that they do, I would absolutely adore that. That would probably become one of my favourite Iron Man minifigs, even though I've got the three that I want the most, which is the Mark 6, the Mark 50 and the Mark 85. The Mark 6 is one of my favourites because I do prefer, generally speaking, I do prefer the triangular arc reactor as opposed to the circular one. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a comic thing, or the fact that sort of before the MCU, my favourite iteration was Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Tony went from, I think, he went from a circular to a triangle arc reactor. It's such a niche little detail, but at the same time, it's just something I appreciate more. It's kind of like, you know, with Batman, with bat suits, do you prefer the long ears or the short ears? It's such a niche little detail, but at the same time, I feel like it's just as valid to have an opinion on what your favourite suits are. But yeah, I now have the 85 and the 50, so I'm actually buzzing with that. If I get the Mark 45, and to be fair, I did upgrade both my Mark 50 and my Mark 85 minifigs. I did. I couldn't help myself. I saw that Firestar Toys has been doing like upgrade pieces, and yeah, I had to get my hands on them. I actually bought I bought the arms for the Mark 50, and I bought the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield arms as well, and of course Mark 85. Like I saw that and I was just like, okay, this looks incredible. It would annoy me now if if Lego Marvel went and remade those figures again with the arm printing, but then I wouldn't complain because I just got those suits. I've got repeats of those suits with still a lot of detail that I can do whatever I want with. I'd actually love to get Avengers Tower and sort of like a Hall of Armor set. I know they came out with one this year. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think the best Hall of Armor they did was the one in 2019 with that non-spoilery endgame wave. To be honest, that wave was a bit of a bag of arse, though. If I'm going to be honest, like, if I'm going to be truthful with you, I just don't think it was a good set, or like a good wave, because you had Captain America in a massive, like, obnoxiously big motorbike. You had the War Machine Buster, which I won't lie, did slap, did go hard, and debuted the new helmet piece for Ant-Man. So that was a cool set. But there was just something about that wave that you could clearly tell that Lego had very little to work with. So therefore, everyone had, quantum suits, which were great. Don't get me wrong. I do actually want a quantum suit minifig just because I think it's an amazing suit. But and it kind of gets me worried for Doomsday in a way, but at the same time, Lego like make their sets a year in advance, and I'm hoping they started designing those sets after the March event where they did the 5-hour long live stream with the chairs. Where they announced the X-Men coming back, the Fantastic Four. I've really hoped that they use that and they actually make sets with them in. There's a few sets I'd like to see. I'd like to just see the Baxter Building as a modular. I'd like to see the Yggdrasil tree from Loki. Maybe like a TVA set. An X-Men movie Blackbird, I think would be pretty cool. I know they just came out of one for X-Men 97, but you can kind of spice it up a little bit and make it more movie-based. Yeah. Do apologise, I'm just replying to someone. Very unprofessional, I know, but I don't do this for a job. If I did, I wouldn't be texting in the middle of a stream. There you are. But yeah, what was I going to say? What was I going to say? Oh yeah, about Doomsday sets. I really hope that they don't skimp out on Avengers Doomsday sets, because it is such a massive film. I don't mind if they make more sets in the run-up to Secret Wars, because obviously by then they'll have had more time to actually, watch the movie and make more accurate sets. But at the same, with that, I do hope they don't skimp out and they really go for it with the with Doomsday and Secret War sets, because I think it will be The last time, it'll be the first and last, unless they do the dioramas like what they're doing with the Spider-Man 3 set, where you're going back and doing the old films, and especially like the Infinity Saga. It will probably be the last time Lego gets to make sets for a new Avengers movie, because I just don't see them making any more after Secret Wars. I feel like Secret Wars is going to be the end of the Marvel universe as we've known it for the last, I suppose, or at least the end of the multiverse for like the last 30 years, since Blade, since the first X-Men film. Like I just don't see it being I just don't see it being the same as it once, as it would have been. So hopefully they really do go all out with these Avengers movies. And at the same time, they can. The Infinity Saga, in my opinion, was a stroke of genius, making that a sort of like sub-theme. Because with the Infinity Saga, anything's on. Sometimes I don't think they use it to their full ability. They occasionally come out with a really good set from a non-Avengers movie. Like they'll come out with a Guardians of the Galaxy set. They'll come out with a set from Thor Ragnarok or Civil War. But they don't do enough. They don't do enough of that, and I hope they do. I really like. I'd love to see Thor versus the Destroyer from the first Thor movie. I'd love to see Steve Rogers versus Bucky Barnes from the Winter Soldier. That would be an amazing diorama. In fact, that one will probably sell as well as if they do the stealth suit. Although it wouldn't be accurate, to be fair, because Steve doesn't actually wear the stealth suit in either of those fights, on the highway and on the helicarrier. But any set from the Winter Soldier that includes the stealth suit under the Infinity Saga banner would sell like hotcakes. Like that suit is widely regarded as Steve Rogers' best suit. For me, it's the second favourite because of the Endgame suit. And I'm still very disappointed that they didn't just include that in the Endgame diorama that came out this year. I actually had to buy the Endgame suit, and because of the fact that Lego can be very lazy with their Captain America minifigs, I had to go and buy another Captain Carter to upgrade my Endgame Captain America. Because you might just say, well, what's the point? It's such a niche little thing to do. But at the same time, I want my minifigs looking good, man. I want them looking as best as they can. I don't want them looking half-arsed. Because with, a lot of Lego sets, they just kind of half-arse it. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want them to look as best as they can. So yeah, I will go and order the Firestar prints for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I've done it again, in fact, with the Rip suit. I'm not going to do it with the Spider-Man 3 set, just because I don't want to be wasting any money when I've already made the upgrade twice. And to be fair, the minifig that's coming in the 2025 or 2026 diorama set with Venom and Sandman from Spider-Man 3, that one is the exact same as the No Way Home final battle, and I've already upgraded that, so I don't need another upgrade. Although I'm not complaining that they reused that minifig, because it is such a gorgeous figure. The only thing I want them to do next, and this is me being just a greedy swat, is give them leg printing as well as dual molded legs. That's all I want for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and go back to doing it for Tom Holland's Spider-Man as well. They had a really good rep until this year with the Civil War airport battle, where they brought back the Sanctum Sanctorum Spider-Man, but they got rid of the leg printing for some reason. I'm like, why? If you've got it, I know they just retired the Sanctum that it came in, but surely you'd have if you've got the torso, the arm printing, the head print all on system, sure you'd have the legs as well. It just feels like they're constantly cutting their costs. I'm like, I would rather have less sets but better sets than loads of sets and kind of mid ones, because I'm not going to buy them. I'm not in a position where I can buy every Lego set whenever I want, willy bloody nilly. Otherwise, I'd have all the modulars, probably Arkham Asylum as well. I'd have everything, but I'm not like that. I'm just a normal person. Well, I don't quite say that. I'm just a, you know, I'm a regular buyer. I don't constantly buy. I just buy what I want, when I want it, when I can afford it, and when I've got space for it as well. That's the thing. I have to plan out my purchasing, because if I haven't got the space for it, then what's the point in buying it? And, you know, unfortunately, that's been one of those occasions for me with a lot of sets that I really, really want. The biggest of which that I wanted is hi Godfather of Soaps, hope you're doing okay, mate. Like the Avengers Tower and Daily Bugle are the ones I've always wanted the most. Godfather of Soaps, I've just informed, I'm going to do this again just because I don't really mind how many times I have to do it, because it is kind of the point of why I'm streaming. Making a quick update to some of the things I said last night about future streams. I said yesterday that I was going to stream on the 15th of November. That has now been scrapped, hence why I'm doing an extra stream tonight. Basically, we're making myself, the rest of the Death of a Salesman cast, and the Faustus cast, we're all making a group trip to Weatherspoons on the 15th. It was just kind of planned out of nowhere, and because of the fact that it's, you know, probably the last time I'm going to get to actually spend... Oh, that's fine, mate. Thank you for being so understanding. Yeah, I thought, you know what, why not do a bonus one tonight? That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm honestly buzzing. I'm really excited that we're off to celebrate. We're doing it before the show, which at first I was a bit like, eh. But when our assistant director was talking to us, he was like, oh, hang on a minute, no, this makes sense, because I've got family come to see it. Plenty of us have got family members and, you know, partners and friends coming to see it. So after the Get Out, rather than, you know, rushing around and going back, getting smashed, we're just going to spend time with our families. Which I'm all in favour for, to be honest with you. I'm completely in favour for that. So if we do it a week before, and to be fair, it kind of feels like a bit of a motivator. Like if we're celebrating the show before we do it, then that's like right, we've had the celebration, so let's work. Let's justify that with an amazing production. And yeah, I kind of like it. I'm on board with it. So we're gonna do. I'm giving a double, a bonus stream tonight, which means I'll stream for 3 days in a row, and I'm quite proud of that, to be honest, because otherwise I just kind of sit and scream at Marvel Rivals. So I'm quite happy with that. Let's check the time now. It's 10 to 10. We can go for a bit longer. But yeah, it's been a busy day today. I was out with I was at my friends. We were rehearsing from home. Proud of you, but thank you, mate. I really appreciate that, and I'm proud of you too. I am very proud of you, mate. You know, it's we're making moves, and I'm very proud of us all for that. It's, you know, it's not easy these days. So anything that is productive, anything that is, you know, beneficial to your mental well-being, it is a genuine accomplishment, and that's not sound condescending at all. That is a matter of fact. Like any victories you can get is worth celebrating and commemorating. So, you know, I'm proud of you, mate, and thank you for the amazing support. I did give you a shout out at the end of the stream. I'm not sure if you caught it, but I did give you a shout out, and I am going to give you another one tonight, because you've been at all my streams, and that, in my opinion, deserves gratitude. So I am going to drop a little shout out. I'm railing this car. Oh, it's gone now. But yeah, in terms of the actual show itself, we haven't rehearsed as a cast for a while. We're all getting together tomorrow. The director's not here. I honestly, mate, anytime. Oh, thank you, mate. You're a good one. You are a very good one. Yeah, we're getting together, and it's gonna be weird because we haven't actually met since before our little break. I've come to hate having breaks during a show. But it's just the way that the university have scheduled their sort of reading weeks, and obviously the director got annual leave, so it's you can't actually go into the studios to rehearse independently, which I would have preferred. But at the same time, I did need to go home and see my family, Everything's all good, but I had a medication problem from home, so I had to go and pick it up, which meant going back home to Wales to actually grab it. So it was worth it, and I did do a little bit of line learning, just not as much as I'd hoped, really. But there's no point kicking myself about it. It's one of those things. I'm committed to the part to do it. I don't have to tell myself that twice. I am committed to making this the best work I possibly can. But at the same time, I am a human being, and I have to sort of take things as and when they come. So when I can't work on my lines because of, going home, especially when I haven't seen beforehand, I haven't seen my family for about 6 weeks or 7 weeks. I want to make that count, I don't want to just go home, say hello, and then just look at a script for 4 days, which isn't a long time in its own right, It's like, it's one of those. It's just, you've got to make the most of what you can when you're around the people you love, because you just don't know when you'll next see them. So it's something I'm pleased with. I'm very pleased with that. And we're gonna. I will say, I think I'm getting there with Act 1. Act 1 I don't have as much worries about as I did. Act 2, on the other hand, is a little bit rough. Act 2 is quite it's a very stop-starty act, for me at least, for my sort of involvement in the play. Because the changes of thoughts and the sort of flow of the script is fine, but when it's like you're constantly going, you're coming back on, it's like you got to keep up with the sort of momentum of the flashbacks and the memories, because a lot of, I'd say most of the play actually takes place in my head. Flaming, my baby cousin's visiting me today. He's going to take over my phone because, take over my phone because I have to go out quickly. Mate, that's all sweet. That's all sweet, pal. It's all good. I do hope all's well. Especially we're seeing family. If you do have to pop in and out, that's absolutely fine. Even if you don't hear it again, I'm still going to drop a shout out at the end of the stream. Feel free to leave a link in the chat to your channel, or actually no, leave a link in the comment section after the stream finishes if you'd like, because I would love to see people go and show you some more support. Hello. But yeah, it's been going alright with Death of a Salesman. I say going alright, it's been going really good, but obviously when you have that sort of week-long intermission, and the reason why I didn't like it as much is because you don't get that in the industry. You don't get, here's a week off, go learn your lines. No, you get a line learning deadline, and you're just working all the way through until you actually start the production run. So, sorry if you're surprised, only 15. That's sweet. That's all sweet, mate. That is all good. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Forgot what I was saying. But yeah, it's all good. It's going really well. At one point, I do want to make a video. I made this video a long time ago. I haven't actually made a video for a while. Just time him out in case he acts up. Okay, mate, no problem. No problem. I made a video. It was a very cringe title, but it was kind of, I called it like my acting story so far. I made that as I was in high school. I started in high school. Yo, you watch Skins? I don't, sorry. I don't watch Skins. I made this video about all like the shows and stuff that I'd done and my sort of experience with it. And I made that quite a few years ago. It's one of those where it was quite a retrospective, a bit of a retrospective of the work that I'd done. And I like to share these things. I like to share it, not because I'm, constantly blowing my own trumpet. Not that I'm constant, you know, my cousin. Godfather of Soaps, I do know your cousin. He is an absolute legend. He is a wonderful, wonderful person. I made that video, and to be fair, I've done a lot more since that, and it's one of those things I like to share and talk about my experience. I don't know if I'd like to make it, I just don't know if I will, because my experiences have been, there's been a lot of good and a lot of bad, and I don't really want to talk about the bad, because the bad it's a bit much for YouTube, I think, especially because I do want to pursue a professional career, and if I started talking about the bad, Lolly smacked my mouth earlier. Your cousin or you, mate? I forget, because he's on your phone. I forget who's actually like commenting. I do apologise. But yeah, it was one of those things. Like I don't want to talk about the overly like personal and deep stuff, but it does kind of filter in with, you know, a lot of my acting experiences. And also, another reason why I would like to make it is because I don't know when I'm going to act again after this. I'm his cousin, he's leaving out. Oh, I see, mate, I get you. Yeah, it's one of those, like, I'd love to make it because of how much I've grown and how, like, the best. But he said, just comment so you can get views. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. To be fair, I don't really do YouTube for the views, but any views that are presented, I do appreciate. Like, it's one of those. I don't want to sound like every YouTuber that's ever existed, but I'm genuinely really grateful whenever people watch, just because this is my like little safe space where I can talk about stuff and I can just talk about life and things that I like. That's why I try, and despite always sort of second guessing myself, I try and avoid talking about really sensitive things. Last night we had a bit of it was quite funny, to be fair. I won't repeat any of the things that were said last night, but it was quite funny. I like to laugh more than cry. I like to laugh more than get angry. I like to laugh more than make a prat of myself. So it's one of those, like I talk about the things that I'm passionate about. I try and avoid talking about the things that I'm quite serious about, because for me it just kind of brings me down a bit. Like I'm quite comfortable saying this, but I've got a therapist that I can that is literally paid to listen to that kind of stuff. So I don't feel like I really need to put it out there on the internet as well. And just because you also get a lot of trolls and a lot of idiots that seem to think it's acceptable to prounce on the most vulnerable sides of your life that you share, and it's not. It shouldn't be your fault for sharing that. A lot of people share it because it brings a lot of comfort. But you just get a lot of prats that seem to think it's okay to sort of exploit that and capitalise on it. It's not nice, and I just don't want to give anyone, therapists are cheeky in it. I don't really think so, to be fair. I think therapists are great. They're great. I genuinely, I've had a lot of help this year from my therapist. She's been brilliant. I've only been seeing her for a couple of months, but she has been absolutely fantastic, and they're just, yeah. I've had some bad ones, I can't lie. I had one bad one a few years ago. She was just, I'm not going to mention the service that she works for. I can't even remember her name, to be honest with you, but I had this therapist who was, she wasn't that good. She was very dismissive over like what was going on, and rather than, you know, support like a therapist does, she came off as quite condescending. So it kind of put me off therapy for quite a long time. And when was she fit? Never met her, mate. Never met her. Never met her in person. Before this, the last therapist I had was over the phone. And even if she was, I wouldn't comment on her appearance just because I just feel like that. No, mate. But yeah, I just thought that, you know, things were not great and I needed help, so I reached out, and this one I've had since August has been brilliant. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah. But yeah, I do strongly recommend it if you're ever struggling. Like, reach out, because you don't always get the bad ones. Like, I learned that. You do get the ones that... And the thing is, as well, I feel like it's a lot more acceptable to now just straight up say, look, this isn't working out. Please can either we have a review, or I got no birds this year. Calling them birds is probably an indicator as to why. I find that to be such a... you know... I just don't... I don't know. Like, that kind of, like... I don't know. To be fair, I'm gonna be honest, I'm quite happily single. Like, happily. I'm not looking for anything this year or next year. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong, mate. I'm all good. I'm all good. But yeah. Oh, wrong suit. What is the normal one? Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, if you're ever like going through therapy and your therapist just isn't helping, talk to the service, because they can get you a different one. Because the whole point of you being in therapy is to get help. If the help's not working, then it should be okay to be like, look, this isn't working out, please can, you know. And a lot of the times, I will admit, services can be very limited in what they can offer. Not all of them, but some. If you're dealing with a very serious and specific subject matter that requires that, you know, has taken a strain on your mental well-being to the point where you do need therapy, then there are services, like specific services, but at the same time it can be a battle trying to find the appropriate ones, because they might just not be able to accommodate what it is you need, and that is hard. Like, that is hard. You know, but at the same time, Marvel Rivals, isn't that game for little lads? No, not really. I've seen loads of people, loads of adults play that game. I play it, my best mate plays it, my brother plays it. That game's not for kids. Not at all. I mean, it looks like it is, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like this game here. Like, this game is, you know, I played this as a kid, but I'm playing it now, you know, at 22 years old, because I just like it. You know, I don't really think that gaming should really... I mean, when you're a kid, you shouldn't be playing violent and graphic games, don't get me wrong. Most of us, I think we did. You see, I'm a grown bloke. I mean, fair enough, fair enough. I just feel like anyone can kind of play what they want, really. But yeah. I ain't play Legos. That's each to their own, as I always say. Each to their own. You know, I play the games, I build the sets. I know a lot of people my age and older do. It's one of those where life's too serious to take it serious sometimes. So if you're playing something as an adult that you used to play when you were little, then I see there's no harm in it. Yeah. And also, to be honest, I'm like, the other like major game that I'll play is GTA, and I'm kind of getting bored of GTA 5 now. It's taken me over 12 years to admit it, but now that GTA 6 is more or less within touching distance. I just feel like that I'm kind of getting bored of GTA 5. Like, I'm just ready for the new game at this point. The only thing I play GTA 5 for is probably the online, just because I made a character that looks like Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. So I'm not really like in a massive rush to play GTA 5 anymore. Rivals, at least, is an online game. I'm just at a point where, because I like to play a lot of story-based games, I don't do Let's Plays of them anymore, just because I like to enjoy games at my own pace and not... I'm surprised he's got a bird. She's quite fit. Who are you talking about? Your cousin? Because I personally wouldn't call a family member's partner fit, even if, like, I just personally wouldn't. You know, like I say, each to their own, but I just wouldn't. Because even if they are good looking, I'd feel weird saying that. But yeah, each to their own. But yeah, I am very much ready to finally play GTA 6 next May. And it's good because it comes out just as I'm finishing my uni course, so I'll be playing it more or less exactly when it comes out. Granted that I've got the finances saved for it. I should do. I am trying to keep my budget quite she needs a real man. I really hope you're not talking about your cousin, mate, because your cousin is a lovely person, and saying not a bloke who upload. Right. Okay. Your cousin's a good man. He is a really good man. He's a good bloke. You know, and I don't know what to say back, quite honestly. But yeah. Yeah. There are quite a few games next year that I'm excited for, but it's just as and when I can get them. Because ideally, when I finish uni next year, I'd like a little bit of a rest and then look into getting a job, just because money is quite tight, or jobs are quite tight to come across these days, and when you're making it in acting work, you really need to have a stable income coming in as soon as, just because I feel like it's, you know, you don't know when you're going to be between, you don't know how long life between jobs will be. I don't get how people have babies. His little one keeps shouting. Kids do that. She won't. Right. Stop talking that way, please. Babies cry. I don't know if, like, you know, you've got any younger siblings yourself. I'm an older brother, so I'm used to it. Kids, you know, babies cry. It's their way of communicating, because they can't actually, like, you know, they haven't got the cognitive, like, function of speaking the way that you know, older people can. And even then, you know, people can be born without that altogether. It's like, it ain't normal at this point. I mean, your cousin did say that his daughter wasn't well, so, you know, I get it. They're going to cry more because they're not well. It's their way of communicating, because they haven't got the ability to speak yet, and, you know, they're still developing. But, you know, it is one of those things. Yeah. Just gonna check the time we're on, because I did say I was going to keep it as short as stream. I'm going to go for a bit longer. Once we get to around like 25 past, I'm probably going to call it, just so I can spend the rest of the night running through my lines and then try to get to bed. Yeah, I do want to try and get Act 2, man. See, this is why I like my streams as well, because I can sort of document my thoughts on like what I'm doing and like how it's going. And Act 2, it's such a great play, but for some reason the lines just don't stick in as well. And it's nothing to do with the writing. It's Arthur Miller. I wouldn't dare question his writing, but at the same time, line learning is not something that just kind of happens naturally. You have got to kind of figure out the technique before you do, and even then there's not really much of a technique you can adapt to it, because it's such a personal thing, like personal sort of process, that not just every actor but every person, like you all learn things at sort of different paces. That's why the education system is, in my opinion, failing miserably. L or some bloke, his baby, L or something, his baby is called, looks like him. I mean, that happens, you know. You do tend to develop characteristics and, you know, physical traits of your parents. In some ways I look a lot like my mum, in others I look a lot like my dad. So it's quite normal. I'd say I probably, when I was younger, I feel bad for it. I'm pretty sure the baby is a her. The baby's a her, and even then, I couldn't comment because I've never actually seen like your cousin's face before. I just know he is a lovely person, given the personality that he provides on the internet, and it's, you know, it's one of those that very difficult to form positive opinions of people on the internet these days, because everyone is, you know, everyone's behind a screen. But when you do develop a good opinion of someone, particularly online, it does speak volumes, really, as the kind of person. He's too nice. He's a wonderful person. Honestly, I've got all the time in the world for him. All the time in the world. You know, I think he is a genuine, like he's genuinely, that's why he got thumped. If you're hitting someone because they're a good person, and I can't respect that. Can't respect it, you know. I just can't, like, you know. I think at some point I might consider a God of War stream, because I played God of War this year. Never actually I don't do Let's Plays, but I finished both the games. I didn't finish Valhalla though. So if God of War Valhalla is a stream that anyone's interested in, then I'd definitely do it. I just wouldn't do it if, you know, I wouldn't stream it if people weren't interested. I'd probably just play it on my own. But I do like doing these streams. I get to kind of come on and experience stuff with other people, you know. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Yes, I know who she is. Yes, I know. I'm not interested in her personally. For obvious reasons. Yes, I do know who that person is. I am very much aware of them, of her and her reputation. I don't know what to say, personally. I don't really want to use insulting language, but at the same time, she's done things which I think are quite predatory. So I'm just not going to comment any further on her. Yeah. To be fair, I would be very surprised if there was someone who didn't know who she was at this point. She's basically infiltrated the mainstream media, not just that place that you'd commonly find people in that industry on the internet, but like the actual news. Yeah, I think that she's a bit. She's proper. Fair enough if that's who you're into. Fair enough. I don't think. I don't really know what to say. I think. I don't know what to think. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what to think. She's not my type personally. Yes, I do think blonde hair can be quite alluring, but her with blonde hair, not really. No, not for me. Yeah. But like I said many times in this stream, each to their own. I'm not one to judge other people for liking her. I might judge her a bit, but at the same time, fair enough. But if I was to say anything, I'd probably say I'm more of a brunette person. Yeah, I am much more of a brunette. Yeah. What time are we on? We'll go for about 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes and then call it. Blonde. Bonnie Blue is blonde, isn't she? I mean, brunette is alright. Yeah, I just prefer brunette. Every girl that I've ever liked was a brunette. And on the few times that I've liked the blonde, it's just not last. Oh, she's back. Oh, he's back. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just much more of a brunette person. That's all I'm really gonna. Let's see you, pal. Alright, you take care, mate. I am kind of interested in doing other games. I am just doing the same games at the moment, personally, because I haven't got many games on me, and a few that... Hi mate, sorry I left. No problem, bud. No problem at all. Or everything's all good. We're gonna go till about 11:30, and I'm gonna call it just so I can spend about an hour and a half up until midnight working on my lines. Did he give you any grief? Not really. I disagree with some of the things he said. You can read the chat if you want. I've not timed anything out or removed anything, but to be fair, it was alright. It was alright. It's more of a me problem because I'm not that good at speaking to people I've never spoken to before. Like, to be fair, I'm able to speak to you like I would any of my other mates because I see you as a mate at this point. Like we've interacted that many times on comment sections and Yeah, I genuinely look at you as a proper mate. But other people I've never spoken to before, I don't know how to. I'm very bad at small talk. It's why people get this common misconception that actors are very people. That's the stupidest thing I've ever said. Fair play. People get this common misconception that actors are really good or like really sociable, but I just don't think that's the truth at all. Because whenever I do something, normally I'm putting on a performance, and people sit. Oh, sorry, I need to sneeze. That's me. People people will sit down and watch you, and then you don't speak to them. In different types of theatre, it might be much more interactive, but I cope with that better by putting on an act, a performance. You know, I can talk to people better when it's a specific role, and it's the same with teaching and like workshops and that kind of thing. I'm better at it because I put on a bit of a front, because at that point my purpose is to teach them, so I embody a role that best encompasses that, because otherwise I'm just talking stupidly and there's nothing's getting through. So I don't really mind things like that. When it's people that I've never spoken to before, I am just very awkward, you know. And I don't even think that's an autism thing, you know, me being autistic. I just wait till I tell his mum. Honestly, I didn't like until yeah, there's certain things I didn't appreciate, but at the same time I didn't feel like it was enough to time him out for, you know. And it was one of those, because obviously someone was commenting on your account. I didn't want to time the account because I didn't want you to get any penalty for something you haven't done. So, like, I'm all good personally. I didn't, you know, take any offence to anything. I just didn't agree with some things. Sorry I made you comfortable. Honestly, it's all sweet. It is all sweet. It is all good. Like, I don't really mind. Yeah. Obviously, if you read up the chat, you'll see everything that was commented. I personally didn't take offence. I just didn't agree with certain like terminology, particularly talking, you know, regarding like calling girls birds, which is, I think, is a very outdated term, but that's just me, really. I don't really speak that way. So when others do, I'm like, oh, I forgot people speak this way, because I used to hear it a lot in like quite old, particularly In-Betweeners, and I love that show, but at the same time I thought it was funny because of how like ridiculous it was. I feel like people, why can't I get a bird? Can't he see? Yeah, I did kind of make a point. Well, if you're calling them birds, then it kind of speaks for itself, you know. Women, in my opinion, should be referred to as women. I don't think I need a different name for women. They're women in my eyes. Yeah, I feel like saying that for some reason is going to get me cancelled. I don't know why. I don't really care, because to be honest with you, I am encompassing trans women in that as well. I still think they are women. I just don't. I wouldn't, because like in the In-Betweeners, you got quite absurd nicknames for, or like quite absurd terms that women are referred to as, which I completely disagree with and would not use. But because it's the In-Betweeners and because it's like lightened in comedy, I personally don't take offence to it. I don't think I could take offence to it. I'm a bloke, but at the same time I was brought up with different values as to how to speak to it. Lol, he ran out of the house when I shouted his name. Yeah, I feel like he kind of knew that was coming. Looked like he had to find a way to Manchester. Is that where you guys are from? Without obviously giving away too much of information, or at least that area. I know a few people that are moving to Manchester. Personally, I wouldn't, but that's just me. I'd work there, I'd stay there to work, but I just wouldn't live there permanently. I'm quite comfortable at the moment with where I am. But yeah, I feel like if you're around that area, then I do hope he's safe, because even if someone is still quite clearly maturing, I do hope that Manchester can be quite dangerous. I do hope they're just safe around that area, because it is. I moved to Manchester when I was young. That's where he lives. Ah, I see, mate. That makes sense. To be fair, it's a massive city, so you get people from all over. But yeah, if you don't feel comfortable commenting the fact you moved there, he'll be alright. I'll get my brother to... Yeah, fair enough. That's all good. If you want, I don't mind if you do want to delete the comment about the moving to Manchester, because I know I wouldn't take it take that any further, but at the same time, just for peace of mind. But yeah, that's just me, really. I'm quite open about the fact I'm from Wales, just because Wales is big, but it's also like not. But thanks, mate. No problem. Honestly, I don't mind at all. I'd rather like you guys protect any information that you give out. And plus, to be fair, the good thing with VODs is that they don't play the live chat with it, so anything that's said in chat will not be seen again after the stream ends, which is actually on point, because we're close to ending the stream now. But yeah, that's one good thing about it. That's why I've never actually considered moving to Twitch. I used to stream on Twitch a long time ago, but I just didn't like it. I'd rather just have one platform that everything goes on. I don't use Twitter. My other socials are purely to interact with friends. I don't post on there publicly. Sorry, I missed some of the live. Honestly, it's all sweet, mate. We are going live again next weekend. Then obviously the 15th is going to be Weatherspoon's Day. Do you know what? I might post a picture. You might get a picture of me, which would be the first public image of me in about 5 years, I want to say. You might get a Weatherspoon's picture. Just me. I don't want to show anyone that don't want to be on there. But yeah, we might do that. We might bring you along the way for the Spoon's trip. It would be great fun. I'd enjoy that a lot, to be fair. But yeah, we're going to look at wrapping it up now. Massive thank you. Anyone watching the VOD, please go and check out Godfather of Soaps. I absolutely adore the channel. I adore the person behind the videos. They are genuinely one of my favourite people on YouTube. Most genuine, most honest, and sweetest as well, which is what you need in a world full of twats. Thanks a plenty. Anytime, buddy. Anytime. But yeah, that is going to be it from me this stream. We'll see you all next week, possibly next Friday or next Saturday. I'm going to say Saturday more likely, because Friday I would like to try and get a bit more work done on Death of a Salesman. Pretty sure I've watched all your videos, by the way. Awesome. That is what we need to hear. Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to have a good binge watch through a lot of your videos, especially the ones I've already seen. But yeah, they're clean, they're good. And that's that. So, massive thank you, and I will see you all next week. If I don't for whatever reason, I'll put a post up on the community page because I can access that. I don't use it often, but I can access it. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching.